Poker Show with Jesse May.
You'll wait around all year for the World Series of Poker. Now here we are in the thick of it. There was some talk early on. People were saying, the fields will be so big. How are the top names going to come through? But look at the first two events. Who was on top? Alan Cunningham, Scott Fishman, Dave Devilfish Elliott, Lane Flack. You know what? You can come to Las Vegas with $20, grubby hands, and a head full of ideas. Satellite your way into some of these tournaments. But sooner or later, you're going to come up against the best, and you're going to have to play them. This is the World Series of Poker, and you're watching The Poker Show. Joining me, as always, my friend, Padraig Parkinson. Great show today, Parg. Robert Williamson III, Ben Roberts. You've played a couple of events so far. But yesterday, Omaha High-Low, you took the day off. What do you know about it?
Well, Omaha High-Low, I just don't get it. You know, when you talk about the Hold'em players, everybody thinks they're the best Hold'em player in the world. That's fair enough. You talk to the Omaha High-Low players, everybody knows they're the best player in the world. I just don't get it.
It's a wonderful game. In fact, I consider it my best game, so I'm certainly not going to put it down.
So the world champion, he likes Omaha High-Low. You know, there's been a bit of talk about quality of play, the standard of play here at the World Series of Poker. We caught up with Syracuse Chris Tsiropoulos. He's got a funny name, but he's a good player, 27 cashes in the World Series of Poker. And here's what Chris had to say about the standard of play so far.
They see ace-3, ace-10, they just stick the chips in the pot. I mean, they don't care. Whatever come out, 5 random cards. So you got to play them different, you know. You play with good players, it's easy to bluff them good player. You know, bad player, it's tough to bluff, it's tough to bluff them.
Chris says it's been a bit of a mixed bag so far. What have you noticed, Parg?
Well, the numbers just get bigger and bigger here, Jesse. You know, ever since Kevin McBride came into town and exploded the myth that the top players couldn't be beaten, every poker player that can get a buy-in and a train ticket together has been coming in here and taking their shot. You know, that's what makes poker so great, and that's what makes this event so special. You know, anybody can come in. There's no protection of the top names here. You can come into town, take your chances, and you can leave with a bracelet.
Yeah, a lot of newbies in the field here. And Pot Limit Hold'em the other day presented that extra degree of difficulty. I mean, guys got to learn how to count the pot, for instance.
Yeah, well, you do see some strange things here. I saw something the other day that I've never seen in a pot limit game in all my life. The blinds were 150, 300. Everybody passed around to the small blind. He made his bet up to the 300. The guy in the big blind looked all around the table, saw that everybody had passed. There was only 2 of them in there. He looked at the dealer and he said, "How much is in the pot?" This is the World Series of Poker. I've never seen anything like that before. But you know, he might have been onto something. When I got knocked out, he was still there up there with the chip leader, so maybe I'm going to try it next time.
Parg, you've been at the tables. Have you played much with Robert Williamson?
I played with him in the pot limit hold'em the other day. And what a tough day that was for the dealers, because they had Robert was in seat 9, I was in seat 1, and Andy Block is in seat 3, and I think they just gave the dealers headache tablets as soon as they got them off the table, but it was great fun.
Well, we're thrilled to have him here with us. He's got over $1.1 million in tournament cashes, an Omaha record the length of my left arm, including a 2002 World Series of Poker bracelet, RW3 himself. Please welcome Robert Williamson III.
Robert. Padraig, how are you, buddy?
Hi, Robert.
Hi, Jesse.
Robert, 6 World Series of Poker final tables in 5 years. How do you do it?
Well, I've always said I'd rather be consistently lucky than consistently good, so I'm going to say I've been really lucky.
I'm going to say he's been really lucky too.
But I mean, is Omaha your event? I mean, this is your specialty here.
It's a game I have more of a feel. It's a feel game, and I have a greater feel for it than any other game, no question. I've been working on No Limit Hold'em for 2 years, and hopefully I'm going to have a breakthrough just any day now.
2002, you won a World Series of Poker bracelet. What'd that feel like?
Wow. Next to getting married to my wife, the greatest feeling in the world. I mean, there's just no greater... just the whole energy comes and culminates in one spot, and you know that once you're crowned a champion in poker, you're a champion for life. So nobody can ever take that away from you, no matter if I never make another final table.
Can't take away your bracelet.
Yeah, they can take away the money, they can't take away the glory. That's the beauty of the World Series.
Away a lot of my money.
No, you've been giving it away. You will do that triple draw thing.
Oh, a
We're
triple
not,
draw.
we're not supposed to talk about the triple draw.
I don't play that, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody knows you as one of the most fun people to play with. I mean, where do you draw the line between serious and fun?
Well, I don't draw the line for myself personally. Other people draw it for me. Normally, it's somebody when they say, Robert, shut up. Okay, I calm down then. But no, really, I just think that poker, for me, is beyond a great game and a game of skill. It's a game of entertainment. People need to be entertained. And if they have a good time playing with me, if they have a good time playing poker, period, and their experience overall is fun, win, lose, or draw, and hopefully lose, to me, they'll come back and play again. So I kind of view myself as an entertainer. Like I'm on a stage, I guess like an actor, but everything I say is real. It's really me. I'm just making sure that as long as I enjoy it, I'll keep doing it. If I stop having a good time at it, I'll stop doing it. So
You don't think people should play if they're not having fun? I mean,
I don't think people should do anything long term that they don't enjoy. I mean, I know people that make a lot of money in their jobs, but they're not happy. If you're not happy with what you do and you've got to do it on a consistent basis, I mean, if you had to go once a month and do something, you could trudge through it. But if you got to do it every day or even 2 or 3 times a week, you need to enjoy it. You know, quality of life is happiness inside. So I think it's very important.
well, talk about bringing fun into poker. I mean, you've been doing the commentary now, poker commentary.
I have. Game Show Network has had me on for Poker Royale 1, 2, and 3, and then I'm actually playing in Poker Royale 4. It's been great because of the mixture and the change-up. Not only do I get to play poker, now I get to talk about poker, and I'm passionate. You know, I play poker for love of the game. I love poker. I love to play poker, and I didn't know I like to talk about poker, but it turns out I like to talk about poker too.
Well, yeah, I was saying to Robert the other day when we were playing at the same table in the tournament that I really liked his commentary. It was a pity he didn't know anything about poker. Then it would have been really good.
It could have really been good. Yeah,
but he's great at it.
Well, I mean, you've been doing commentary too, Park. How do you think you guys would match up together, you and Robert?
Maybe battle to get the microphone.
It'd be great. The banter would be at a whole nother level, especially if we had a beer or two first. Whoa.
We don't do that anymore.
No. Just me.
Okay, you can
I'll
do
drink
it for
and you
both of us.
talk, or heck, you talk and I'll drink. Whichever way you like it.
Kind of like both.
Robert Williamson III. We're numbers 1 and 2 poker players. I mean, how'd you get into poker?
Well, I actually grew up in a gambling family. My father played a lot. I grew up around poker a lot, but it was other games as well. We faded dice. We kind of did what Vegas does. We ran dice games. And when I first started, I was the drink boy, sandwich boy. I kind of hustled for tips, and, I made a lot of money for a kid.
Was this in Dallas? Yeah.
Yeah, in Fort Worth, Dallas, and back in Texas.
Was that legal?
So, we kind of flew under the radar a little bit. The games were privately held, so,
Did you come up against any of the big Texas names when you were younger?
As far as in poker, no, but some of the big gambling names, yes. Actually, Bobby Chapman, his grandson, he's an old scuffler from way back. His grandson's a good friend of mine now, but a lot of people got into gambling in different sides of gambling, the sports side, the craps, besides just poker. But
well, I mean, Benny Binion, he was from Texas. He was from Dallas,
Johnny
wasn't
Moss
he?
was too. Originally, but Benny was from Texas back in the early 1900s. Only a sparkle in my parents' eye back then. But Johnny Moss, Doyle Brunson, all those guys are from Texas. And by the time I was 10 or 11 years old, I had built up enough money and skill by watching other people and playing with my family at home that I was pretty competitive. I beat most of the adults by the time I was 10 or 11. So,
11 years old.
Yeah.
Just started losing to adults when he got to 18.
Yeah, it's
now I'm a man, I can lose.
It's a breaking curve. Once you get old enough to do it, then it's not as fun. Now, I always was pretty competitive from a young age too, from a gaming standpoint. We played lots of games, and in my family, once you lost your chips, you couldn't borrow, you couldn't rebuy, you had to go to bed. So I hated going to bed first or second, and eventually I didn't have to. At first I did. Oh, it was terrible. But I was so competitive. I had that competitive spirit, that fire from within from a very young age.
Robert, you don't seem like a guy who gets nervous, not at the poker table, not on TV. But we've got a special game here we'd like you to play. It's called the Knee Trembler. Would you be willing to submit?
Certainly, I don't know. It sounds, as long as it doesn't involve any farm animals. I see the corn stalk, so
Well, single elimination
No
is
lagging.
your weapon, Robert. It's a
All right.
1999 putter, but you got to play with what you're dealt.
Vintage. I like it.
So we'll see Robert up doing the knee trembler a little later. But first, a little something, one of our favorite segments here that we like to call Padraig Parkinson's Off the Wall.
Poker players are known to have very strong opinions, but we've been absolutely amazed with the response we've had to this feature. We asked you, the viewers, to cast your votes. The idea is that every famous poker player in the world has his picture on a mythical wall of fame. You decide who you think doesn't deserve their place there. We've been absolutely overwhelmed with votes, and the result may be a surprise. Like, some of the old favourites are up there. You can guess who they are. You know you voted for them. But there are also a few surprises up there. It's going to be very tight, and the first guy will come off the wall in our next show. The last few hundred votes are going to make all the difference. So if you haven't voted already, please do so now. Feel free to let us know why you think the guy shouldn't be there, because we're interested in hearing that too. If you have voted already, well, go ahead and vote again anyway. I don't care.
Very excited about Off the Wall here, Park. First player coming off, but I think maybe people want a little clarification. Is it only the guys who they see on the wall that they can take off?
No, there's been a little bit of confusion on this. Every famous poker player in the world is on the wall. The pictures you see in the clip is just some of Mickey's pictures, but we've got pictures of everybody. So if you want to vote anybody off, don't worry about it. We'll put them up there to take them down.
Are the votes secret?
Yes, the only one who knows is them and me.
I'll have to confess, I've voted 12 times already, but I'm not saying who. That's all for part one. Ben Roberts coming up, plus Dish of the Day and a whole lot more.